Hey everyone, Karn here. If you don't know me, I'm a game developer from the UK where I've worked at Rare, Lionhead and Platonic on games like Connect Sports, Fable the Journey, Sea of Thieves, Rare Replay and Ukulele. But right now I'm really interested in creating games about big real world issues, especially environmental ones like climate change. As I figure out how to do that, I thought I'd try something else new and document my development process here. So one idea I've been playing with is a city building game where the aim is to create sustainable, people-centric, walkable cities that work with nature rather than against it. A big source of inspiration for this idea came from Alex Steffen's writing, particularly his book Carbon Zero: Imagining Cities That Can Save the Planet, in which he explains that cities are going to be a key resource in the ongoing battle against climate change. So as the global population increases, the UN predicts that more than 2/3 of us will be living in cities by 2050. That means we'll need a lot of new development to meet everyone's needs, but how do we go about doing that while avoiding urban sprawl and the associated environmental costs? Well, there are a lot of interesting ideas about that already, but trialing them in the real world can be kind of tricky, so why not in a game? That's the gist of the idea here. Get people thinking about and playing with what cities of the future could look like. After all, we can't build what we can't imagine. So I started out with a simple 2D prototype to prove out basic placement of buildings and objects. But recently I've been thinking that 3D might be a better fit, because sustainable cities need to be pretty dense so people don't need cars to get around, which means lots of verticality. The 2D prototype has some of that, but I think it would get pretty unwieldy after a while. And that brings us to the latest prototype, which you can see here. It's basically a port of the first one into 3 dimensions, with some new camera controls and a more versatile system for stacking objects on top of each other. This all adds complexity, of course, which I am wary of doing too much, but I think it's worth the trade-off here. The idea of stacking objects on top of each other was also inspired by Sidewalk Toronto, which is a really interesting new real-world project to create a high-tech, sustainable, smart city on Toronto's eastern waterfront in Canada. Part of their plan is to construct these versatile modular buildings which are mixed use. So, for example, residential, commercial and cultural spaces in one place, and allow those uses to be quickly and easily changed as requirements change, without having to tear down the entire building and start again. And that's really as far as I am right now. This is still really the very first stages of an idea that is still evolving, and I hope to keep making these videos on a semi-regular basis as I go, and I'd love to get feedback from anyone listening that could help shape the game's direction. I might also talk about some other projects at some point, and if there's anything specific you think would make a good video topic, please do let me know. And thank you for watching.